That is a great record, by the way. Midnight Blue is of all the Foreigner songs and your solo songs, Midnight Blue of all those songs is my favorite song.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I wrote that in the same basement with me playing guitar, and my fingers are fat, and a lot of times I'd hit 2 strings instead of 1 when I'm fingering it. But then I went on piano and I played the right chords that are supposed to be there, and wrote 90%, about 75% of the song, and called in my friend Bruce Turgan, who was in Black Sheep with me. And at that time, Bruce was now in Foreigner. I got Bruce in Foreigner.
Right.
And so he came in, heard what I was struggling with on my lame guitar playing and my very crude piano playing, and picked up a guitar and played the chords like they're supposed to be played, with attitude. So he played that guitar on the song.
You know, my following days are over. Now I just got to follow through is one of the greatest lines of all time for me. I love that line. That's again, one of those lines that made me stop and go, what? What did he just say?
So get this. We were writing that song, and when I knew that there was going to be another Foreigner album coming up. So when Mick finally got back from his ocean tour, whatever it was, Bruce and I took Midnight Blue and Heartache, the song Heartache, over to him and proposed that those 2 songs be on the next Foreigner album. Now they were done. There was no room for Mick on there. You know, they were done. It basically was Bruce and myself. And he heard the rough tape of Midnight Blue, and he had a funny look on his face, you know. And he picked up his guitar and tried to play those chords. They're very strange fingering on that. And Mick is the master of that. I watched him try and duplicate those chords for 20 minutes and finally just take his guitar and put it down. And he said, it's all right, but I don't think it's for us.
It's one of my all-time favorite songs, man.
I mean, it would not take a genius to pick up on what that song had and say, even if I can't play guitar, I'll learn the right chords. That's a Foreigner song. Let's play it.
Yeah.
But he turned it down, and I think he knew it was a good song, but because it didn't come from him, he didn't want anything to do with it. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the long and the short of it. That basically he was saying to me, you're fortunate that you're part of some of the big Foreigner songs, but this song was written by you and Bruce. It had nothing to do with me. I don't want anything to do with it. And he dismissed it.
So,
and the song went to number 5 in the charts and was the Billboard most played rock song for that year. Over I Can't Find What I'm Looking For by U2, over 2 or 3 other songs that you would think were awesome hits. Midnight Blue topped those songs in airplay.
Yeah.
And I was so very proud of it, and the whole first album.
How did Mick react to? Did he ever talk to you about your first album? Did he ever?
He was very angry that I wrote songs and recorded an album and released it on Atlantic, and held him and the rest of the band up from releasing the next Foreigner album. Basically, they had to wait when my album was released another 3 or 4 months until it started to die down.
Mm-hmm.
Before, because I was touring to support that album. You know, he says, we're ready to go here, Lou. We want to write songs. We want to get ready to record our next album. I said, Mick, I've learned a lot from you over the years. And if there's one thing I remember that I've learned is when you put out an album, you go on the road and support that album or don't even bother making albums. I said, so I'm doing what I learned from you. And when I'm done, I'll be ready to record. And that's what happened.
Jeez. Well, how did the ending come? How did that ultimate ending happen?
The ending came after I recorded Long Hard Look,
mm-hmm.
and promoted it with a short tour. I told Mick that I didn't want to be part of the band anymore.
What did he say?
He says, I've known that for a while, he said.
Really?
He says, yeah, he says, and that's okay. We've got a singer already. That's what he told me. Johnny Edwards. Inside Information. And they had an album out in 2 or 3 months, and it completely panned. I don't think it even made it to the top 100 on the album charts. It may have been in the 80s for a couple weeks, then fell off. No hit singles, no album charts. I think they went out and toured on it, but I think it was mostly because of the old hits that they got anybody at all in their audience.
What did that tell you? We know what it told you.
It confirmed what I'd hoped, and that was that he was not the only talent in the band, and that after 15 years or so, I don't have to follow him like a puppy dog. I can do what I want to do, and it's infectious quality music.
Yeah.